This is RTV6 News at 5:30, working for you.
Now at 5:30, the pandemic is creating a new business opportunity for one Indiana company, one centered on safety. They are keeping people employed and need to hire more Hoosiers to make it a success. Chris?
Let's take a look at today's lineup. Flu shot makers are ramping up production with concerns about what flu season will be like during a pandemic, what you need to know about vaccines this year. And half of businesses that shut down during the pandemic don't plan to open again. Today, we are meeting two women who defied the odds in a different situation before. And as controversy surrounds TikTok, some new apps are vying for kids' attention. We're taking a look at the safety surrounding those.
Now at 5:30, putting the focus on jobs and getting you hired. That's what our hiring Hoosiers effort is all about. The pandemic is forcing another business to change plans. As RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reports, they are now looking to hire more people to make a product to help protect you and your children.
These pieces of plastic have multiple purposes. They can take shape in creating folders for office supplies, farm-related products, or even sinks for recreational vehicles.
We're very proud of our people and what we've accomplished.
But now AGI Products, which hasn't laid off a person during the pandemic, is turning out what it calls the Desk Defender. And this is personal for those in this Park County company.
My father, my mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, my daughter's actually a junior in college right now studying education.
So the facility in Bloomingdale gave birth to this, to supplement masks and to help with social distancing. In fact, the company is hiring to meet the expected demand for a product meant for kids to take to school or their parents to take to their office jobs.
The social and emotional learning. We have to build a safe environment for the children to learn and be safe.
And just to make sure that a Defender lasts longer than a box of crayons or a book bag, this underwent some interesting testing.
Over with the forklift last week, did not break. We've thrown this thing on the ground. We're very confident this will hold up throughout the school year, and we do put a 1-year warranty on it as well against any type of breakage.
So plastic, playing a practical purpose to slow the progress of the pandemic. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And the company has several locations, including in Vigo and Park counties, and they are hiring. For more info about that, look for this story at hiringhoosiers.com. Kyle.
Amanda, a crazy comfortable day out there. We've got a break from the heat and the humidity across central Indiana. And as we look there over downtown Indianapolis, we've got some rays of sunshine moving in. And some of us really need that, like in Rush County. Check out some of this video where we still have those fields that are flooded after some Monday downpours. So still some standing water out there. Good news for areas like that. Looks like the next couple of days are going to continue to be nice and dry here across central Indiana. Here's a look at Storm Team 6 radar, and it confirms not a drop of rain to be found. We've got just a few of those cumulus clouds. Those will be fading away here as we get to sunset. Right now, our temperature can't beat it here in early August, 76 degrees, and that humidity, it is a very comfortable 43% thanks to that northeast breeze between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Temperatures lower to middle 70s everywhere you look, 76 degrees in Bloomington and Muncie, 78 right now in Connorsville, and Lafayette coming in at 74. We check out the evening planning forecast here, and those clouds will start to fade away, but very nice weather. Maybe you're going to be grilling out here this evening. Temperatures still in the 70s at that point. As we go on, we'll be into the middle 60s by 11 o'clock tonight. Forecasting a low of 56, so it will be another night where we really don't need the AC running all that hard. Not going to be a record, though. That's down to 50 degrees set in 1994. We do have a warming trend, though. That's coming up in the 7-day planning forecast when it will start to feel like summer once again. Chris?
The search for survivors is continuing today at the site of this massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. Just look at this video. Unbelievable. This blast damaging homes and infrastructure across the entire city. A warehouse at the city's port storing thousands of tons of unsecured, highly explosive material, including ammonium nitrate, is at the center of this explosion. The government's putting some port officials under house arrest while they investigate what happened. Now, the remnants of Isais is moving through Canada today. Cleanup continues from North Carolina up to the Northeast. Strong winds and tornadoes caused some significant damage. Places like downtown Baltimore and parts of Pennsylvania saw flooding after waterways crested, and at least 7 people were killed in this storm's path. Tornadoes causing the most destruction at this Windsor, North Carolina mobile home park. Now, as the storm traveled north, it brought down trees, brought down power lines, destroyed cars, buildings, causing massive power outages. You take a look at this video here from New York and New Jersey. New York City actually says that Isaias brought the most power outages ever, only second to Superstorm Sandy. Now, some people may not have power for several days. Falling trees did claim several lives in the Northeast.
So when it's windy or rainy, those things blow around, like right now. Can you hear that? You see that? So a little storm is one thing, a big storm is another thing.
Now, we spoke with a woman in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, living in a tent community for the summer. Gail Hutton rode out the height of the storm at a family member's house, but she and her nephew were back in the tent later in the afternoon when they were nearly hit by a falling tree.
I said, you know, his name is Jesse. I said, that tree fell in between the moment you left my front door and the less than 5 minutes that I hung up with my friend Charlie.
Hutton left Florida to stay in New Jersey and said this was her most adventurous storm. All right, more ahead in our lineup. We are getting ready to face the flu season and COVID-19 together. What you need to know about the vaccine this year and the timing of getting it.
A Northern Indiana natural gas and electric company will have to pay a fine of more than $1 million. The fine levied against NIPSCO is for failing to locate or mark its pipelines in 2 days as required by its safety procedures. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission issued an order today approving $1.1 million in civil penalties against Northern Indiana Public Service Company, or NIPSCO. The IURC said it was the largest fine in state history. The penalties stem from a 2017 settlement.
There's a push to make a program that sends crisis workers instead of law enforcement to certain calls a national model. An Oregon senator is introducing a bill to put more focus on that method of public safety. Now, it's based on a program in Eugene, Oregon called Cahoots. City dispatchers send mental health workers and medics to certain non-emergency, non-criminal calls instead of police officers. The belief here is the unarmed workers can keep situations from escalating. New concerns about how flu season will change with coronavirus. Health experts say everyone should get the flu vaccine regardless of whether there's a pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important people don't cause a strain on the healthcare system, and doctors worry that the flu could do that.
It'll bring a lot more people to the hospital. And, you know, we always have a lot of admissions and a lot of people that are sick with flu. We don't have hospital capacities in some places to have an additional surge of patients because of influenza.
Now, there are mixed thoughts about when people should get the flu vaccine this year. If people get it earlier, they will get protection earlier. But its effectiveness may go away before the season ends. Typically, doctors do recommend on getting the flu shot in October. And there are also concerns that people may mix up coronavirus and influenza symptoms. Now, they are similar in many ways. You think of the cough, the fever, the body aches, but experts say there is one that may indicate coronavirus.
That the loss of smell, which is common in coronavirus, is not really a common phenomenon in a lot of other respiratory viruses.
Now, this season, doctors will watch for the possibility of people having both the flu and coronavirus at the same time. It's not common for people to have more than one respiratory illness simultaneously, but it's just not known if coronavirus will be different. Doctors are hoping, with most people wearing masks and social distancing, flu cases this season will be low. Half of businesses that shut down during the pandemic don't plan to open again. Ahead in our lineup, we're meeting 2 women who defied the odds in a different situation before. The National Guard is now helping some food banks across the country because the need for food has skyrocketed with the pandemic. Alexa Liaco shows us one family who, through no fault of their own, now makes regular trips to a food bank.
He's everything I live for.
Mary O'Neill's
saves every penny she can to make her grandson Jonah smile. But unlike most grandparents, Mary is raising Jonah on her own.
I know for a fact God put him in my life for a reason. So I'm going to do everything that's very possible for him, and I do.
The last couple years, she's seen that power tested time and time again. Losing her husband was just the start.
That was my husband. Well, I lost my husband's income. And of course, I bought the cheaper brand. We had to start doing things different.
That loss was made worse when a tornado ripped through their northeast Louisiana home.
I said, you know, Lord, you've sent me through the biggest storm of my life. This is just another storm.
But Mary says she never imagined the storm coronavirus would bring right into her kitchen.
Jonah, come see.
Food was running short, not only for her, but for her diabetic grandson. So she visited the Care and Hope Ministry, a small church turned community food bank.
Hello. For us, it's more than just a box of food. It's relationships with people, loving on them, encouraging them, and just helping them have hope. Hope in this time of despair.
Hope is just what Mary needed, especially after Jonah's school and several in the area stopped sending home packed lunches.
That was all cut out.
Those programs running dry made mealtime that much tougher on Mary and so many others.
Every child in our school system gets free lunch.
Louisiana has the highest rate of food insecurity for children across the entire United States. In the northeast corner of the state, 1 in 4 children don't know where their next meal will come from. In some counties, nearly half the children go hungry on a regular basis. With schools closed and unemployment at unprecedented levels, food banks say all the progress towards eradicating hunger that's been made since the recession has been erased in just a matter of months. And children aren't the only victims. Seniors are now going hungry more than ever before. The pandemic is bringing reliance on food banks to levels never seen before.
People who are living out in the more rural areas, there's just not a lot of opportunities.
Jean Toth runs the Greater Northeast Louisiana Food Bank, just up the road from the Care and Hope Ministry. Like many food banks around the nation, this regional hub is now relying on the National Guard.
We can all do with less than what we think we can.
But each time she drives up to this little church on the corner, a small part of her pain is lifted.
America's a great place. We'll see the other side, but we can help each other through this difficult time.
I'm Alexa Liacco.
Not your typical August so far here across central Indiana. You might have actually needed that jacket this morning. You might need it again tomorrow, but things have warmed up pretty nicely here this afternoon as we've had some sunshine mixing in with that cloud cover. Our temperature 76 degrees in Indy, Kokomo, and Bloomington. Just a little bit of a northeast breeze there and starting to work in a little more sunshine, and those skies will begin to clear out a little bit more here as we go into tonight. So yes, that sets us up for many locations dropping back into the 50s, and wouldn't be surprised if some northern locations once again will drop down into the upper 40s, say around Monticello and the Peru-Logansport areas. We'll call for an overnight low of 51 in Kokomo, 56 for you in Greenwood and Bloomington, and 54 in Rushville. Maybe take that workout outdoors tomorrow because we have no weather hazards for you. It's going to be great from start to finish once again. We will keep things dry here as we go throughout our Thursday. And as we look at that forecast, take hour by hour here, temperatures upper 60s for you by 10 a.m. So it will warm pretty quickly here. We'll get upper 70s to around 80 degrees through the afternoon, and that breeze will stay fairly light for us. The afternoon high temperature typically is in the middle 80s for this time of year. You'll get right at 80 degrees in Columbus, 78 in Lafayette, and 78 degrees in Indianapolis. So again, you'll need those sunglasses, but certainly not the jacket by the time we get into the afternoon. And that warmth is going to start to overspread the area once again here as we get toward the end of the week and the upcoming weekend. So if you're missing some of that summer heat, it's coming back here fairly quickly. On Friday, we'll be to 82 degrees. We'll see those temperatures getting middle to even upper 80s here as we go into the second half of the weekend. And Sunday's also going to be that next chance that we'll see some wet weather here in central Indiana, but I don't think it's really going to have a big impact on your plans. It looks like it will be later in the day on Sunday the way it looks right now. Put it all together in that 7-day planning forecast. There are the building temperatures, and as we get into next week, yeah, summer is back with that daily chance for showers and storms and highs in the middle 80s. Chris?
Many people will not be able to make minimum payments on their credit cards in the next 3 months if the pandemic continues. That's the latest information from creditcards.com. More than 60% of people polled say that they can't afford to make these payments. More than half said that they won't be able to pay if they don't receive government stimulus money. Now, less than a third said they won't be able to pay due to the extra unemployment benefits ending. Now, with record unemployment, more than 12% of renters in the U.S. missed payments in July. And that number is expected to go up now with those additional unemployment benefits gone. Now, because of this, the rental industry is expected to see a lower profit margin. Now, it's been a tough year for small businesses across America with the pandemic hitting their bottom lines hard. The owners of one small business are defying the odds, and they've done it by overcoming a crisis not just once, but twice. Maya Rodriguez has their story.
For sisters Nikki Howard and Jackie Wright, life comes down to a handful of ingredients.
Love, peace, and cheesecake.
And it's cheesecake that started them off on a new journey while the two were furloughed during the federal government shutdown 2 years ago.
We went through the holidays just praying that it would let up. And it didn't.
For New Year's Eve service, I made sweet potato cheesecake.
I had no idea until I asked, who made those? And she said, me.
She said, it's so good you can sell it. And light bulbs went off.
Which is how the furlough cheesecake came to be. At first, they started by simply selling them online, but it quickly snowballed from there, right into area Walmart stores.
I had no idea that one cheesecake would change everything.
And now they're going a step further. At National Harbor near Washington, D.C., they just opened their first physical storefront.
So we started our business during a furlough, and we opened a store during a pandemic. It makes us sound crazy, honestly, but it just happened this way.
But they are fortunate. The pandemic is hitting many small businesses hard, and Black-owned businesses especially so. Between February and April, the number of African-American-owned businesses dropped by 41%. And economists estimate half of all African-American-owned businesses may never reopen from their COVID closures. At the furlough cheesecake,
we just took a leap of faith.
They know timing is everything when facing two separate, tough economic times.
There's so many people out there struggling and suffering, and being a minority-owned business, you know, we feel a responsibility to shed a good light on our community.
Just one part of their unusual recipe for success. At National Harbor in Maryland.
Thank you.
I'm Maya Rodriguez.
Maya, thank you. And finally in our lineup, TikTok is getting a lot of negative attention, and there's some new apps now trying to get kids to switch to them instead. We have what you need to know about safety when it comes to those new apps. More resources are coming to protect elections from cyber attacks. Federal cybersecurity agencies are sending software to election officials, part of a pilot program with the idea to install it on devices and servers used for things like voter registration and tallying votes. The software could detect suspicious activity. On Monday, we talked about a free program, the Election Cyber Surge Initiative, that is pairing cybersecurity experts with election officials. TikTok has new restrictions ahead of the November election. The app says it wants to curb misinformation and manipulation, and it's part of some new rules that the company is expanding, including fact-checking partnerships and working with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Microsoft's looking to buy TikTok. President Trump has given the two companies 45 days to come up with a deal after his threat to ban the app. Now, the president considers TikTok a threat because its parent company is based in China. Dozens of U.S. families are suing the company, claiming the app collects information like facial characteristics, locations, and contacts to send to China. TikTok denies those allegations. An expert tells us practically with any app you use, it collects data.
Basically, if you're online, you're taking a risk with your data. TikTok is not doing anything novel in this area.
Titania Jordan is with Bark.us. Now, with all the controversy surrounding TikTok, Bark is keeping a close eye on its competitors. Jordan says that Snapchat and Instagram are both planning similar features to what TikTok offers. And then there's others that you may not have known so far. Triller, Clash, Byte. those are gaining popularity. Jordan says that Snapchat and Instagram are likely more safe than some of the newer platforms, especially Instagram, which isn't built on the concept of disappearing conversations. Now, no matter which of these apps you use, Bark says the core concerns stay the same. And that includes the potential for profanity, sexual content, cyberbullying. But Jordan's biggest concern is online predators. She says those cases have gone up 23% since last year.
Online predators know that your children are online more, and they know where they are before you do as a parent. And so the fact that any adult can message a child, interact with a child, send a child a virtual gift through their smartphone or iPad or online is really concerning.
The Bark app can help parents monitor and control what their kids consume online. Jordan says no technology, though, can replace open and honest conversations about the dangers. Some colleges are creating modular dorm rooms as a place to keep students who test positive for COVID. Tomorrow, how colleges expect the process to work as they come up with plans to prevent a full-scale outbreak.
Another cool start tomorrow morning as you head out the door. We'll have temperatures in the 50s. They'll get back into the middle 60s, though, by 9 a.m. Could have a little bit of patchy fog. Shouldn't be as widespread as what we had earlier today, though. The 7-day planning forecast shows a warming trend after a high in the upper 70s tomorrow. We'll get back into the 80s here for the end of the week and really start to heat things up over the weekend. The humidity comes back by Sunday afternoon, and that's our next chance for a few showers and thunderstorms before those rain chances build into next week with highs in the 80s.